and eternal, come what may. For all generations, all the days of life, to fear him truly and avoid the strife. Absurd to say Shaul canceled the divine plan, when Yahushua upheld it for every man. Keep my commands, Yahuwah does decree, for all generations, forever free. We serve the living Elohim alone. In his ways our hearts are shown. Heaven and earth will surely pass one day, but Torah's words will never fade away. My TV Yahoo 517 rings loud and strong, not to abolish, fulfill is his song. Whoever teaches to keep the least command will be called great in the heavenly land. Keep my commands, Yahuwah does decree, for all generations, forever free. We serve the living Elohim alone. In his ways our hearts are shown. They elevate Shaul set above the throne, and make a God of flesh and bone. We serve the living Elohim Most High, whose perfect law will never die, confirmed by Yahushua in deed and word. The Father's voice forever heard. Keep my commands, Yahuwah does decree, for all generations, forever free. We serve the living Elohim alone. In his ways our hearts are shown. Devarim 4 verse 2 is clear and bright. Do not add or take, hold the commands tight. Tehillim 119, 144 declares, all righteous rules eternal, none impairs. The absurdity of man over the Most High, we reject it fully and lift Yahuwah high. Keep my commands, Yahuwah does decree, for all generations, forever free. We serve the living Elohim alone. In his ways our hearts are shown.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And thank you, guys, for being a part of our little itty bitty tiny family in this little itty bitty tiny ecclesia. A little place where all of us can read through scriptures, where we can discuss the world that we are all trying to journey through and be a part of a remnant. A remnant that is becoming very clear and very evident when it comes to what the remnant is. And for those who have never ever been a part of this channel, we welcome you. We welcome you now. We welcome you in the future. And we are a little family that only reads scriptures. We don't have a religion. We have gotten rid of our religion many, many moons ago. It is something that we inherited as we grew up in the Babylonian system. We learned something that was taught to us, and we were told this is the way to salvation, that when we get through this life and time and we take our last breath, we were given a set of rules, a religious system. The rules are very different than what the actual scriptures say. And we have come to a understanding that the majority of the world will never enjoy these rules and regulations. The majority of the world will say these are bondage, these are nailed to the tree, and they are something that they're just old school. And we don't want the old school because we live in 2026. We're part of the new world that we're out here. And when you read the scriptures, it becomes abundantly clear that there is no such thing as once saved, always saved. There is no place where we ask a fella they call Jesus into our hearts, and that alone is a decision, and that decision leads to salvation, leads to a rapture, leads to all of these doctrines of men and traditions of men that we've been told apply to us. Now, our family, and based upon scriptures, decided that is not the right way for us. And in the first 5 books of scriptures, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, we're given the guides to life. We are given the heart, mind, and soul of our Creator and how He wants us to operate, how He wants us to live, how He wants us to operate under His government. Now, we live in a crazy world where we have some crazy people running these governments right now, and I don't know about you, but it certainly looks like a candidate for the end times right now. Like like we are at the edge, at the cusp, at the precipice of the end. Like, if this is not the end, it is the beginning of some very hard troubles and trials and tribulations. And for all of you guys in the States, North America, we're watching very closely. We're praying for you guys, and we're seeing the collapse of an old empire. And it is with the collapse of the old empire that we all have an opportunity to look to the real government. And the government isn't the orange demon, or it isn't some, a little tiny place over in the Middle East and that call themselves, the chosen people of Elohim. The kingdom of the government is right here, right now. And when you guys read the laws, the statutes, and commandments that are found in the first 5 books of scriptures, and you guys apply them to your life, you are making a conscious decision to vote for the new government. Now, we don't vote like the rest of the poor heathens that are stuck in this world where everybody thinks they have a voice and where they go and they vote, and then by their vote, they are completely complicit with the orange demon going off and killing off the entire world. And so when we have decided that the right government for us is not the government of man, we don't fall. We fall under the rules of the land, but we don't vote for this government. We don't participate. We stay away from this. And so it is with that we welcome all of you guys here. We love you all. Big hugs, big love to you all. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come before you as a people humbly on your day, on the day you have set apart, the day you have chosen for us to worship on. And we are here as your people, looking in your commands, looking for a way out of this evil world into your kingdom. We are looking for your guidance and your calling us home. We thank you for this day, and we ask that you open our eyes, that we see your Torah. We see it for as you have written it, as you had intended it for us. We thank you for the Shabbat. We thank you for the family around us. We thank you for all the people that are coming out of the world, that are coming out of the evil and finding your commands. We thank you for this day. In Yeshua's name, amen.
All right, let's get into our next praise and worship.
You can't kill the law. stealing our sight. Yeah, you can't kill the law and still expect a world that stands. Kingdom people, keep the commands. Lawless ones get banned. Whoa, yeah. Why kill our kids for Molech, for power, for gain? Torah screams, never! Their blood cries out in vain. These aren't suggestions, these aren't old folklore. They're the blueprint for a nation that doesn't rot at the core. Every command is a shield, every statute a light. That's Torah keeps the darkness from stealing our sight. You can't kill the law and still expect a world that stands. Kingdom people, keep the commands. Lawless ones get banned. You can't cherry pick the easy and throw the rest away. Then wonder why society crumbles every single day. The same hand that wrote the stars wrote these words in stone. They still apply forever. You were never left alone. Every command is a shield, every statute a light. Yahuwah's Torah keeps the darkness from stealing our sight. You can't kill the law and still expect a world that stands. Oh, kingdom people, keep the commands. Lawless ones get banned. Oh, every command is a shield. Every command is a shield. Yahuwah, the Shamayim declares your name. Every wonder whispers, no chance could make this play. From dust to a steed, your hand is plain to see. Creator of all, we bow and sing of thee. Stars align in silent order dance. Black velvet skies obey your cold-edged glance. Galaxies spin where no man drew the line. Yet scriptures cry, the Shamayim are yours divine. How could blind force birth such perfect art? Yahuwah alone holds every beating heart. Yahuwah, the Shamayim declares your name. Every wonder whispers, no chance could make this play. From dust to a sea, your hand is plain to see. Creator of all, we bow and sing of thee. The ocean roars, yet knows its bounded shore. Mountains rise and deserts bloom once more. A single raindrop feeds the thirsty ground. A life in balance where no accident is found. The eagle soars, the lily clothes the field. Your word alone makes every mystery. Yahuwah, the Shamayim declares your name. Every wonder whispers, no chance could make this flame. From dust to esteem, your hand is plain to see. Creator of all, we bow and sing of thee. Inside each seed a blueprint none can write. DNA's language speaks of Kodesh light. The hummingbird's wing, the whale's mighty song, all sing in chorus that the Maker lives long. Science may search, yet still it stands in awe. Yahuwah's design, no human mind could draw. Yahuwah, the Shamayim declares your name. Every wonder whispers, no chance could make this flame. From dust to esteem, your hand is plain to see. Creator of all, we bow and sing of thee. The human soul that yearns beyond the grave, love that forgives, the courage that is brave, conscience that stirs when wrong and right collide. A ruach crying, Abba, be my guide. No random spark could birth such Kodesh fire. In your image we stand, oh great I am, our desire. Yahuwah, the Shamayim declares your name. Every wonder whispers, no chance could make this flame. From dust to esteem, your hand is plain to see. Creator of all, forever we worship
All right, beautiful family that is out there. We love you all. Jade, will you please Shema our brothers and sisters?
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them with a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and on your gates.
All right, so there we are, everybody. We have a beautiful thing, and it's called the Shema, and it means hear and obey. And, you know, we live in this strange world where it seems like a lot of us can hear, but as far as the obedience side of the house, it doesn't seem like it's much of what we are interested in. Now, what we're going to go over, and in fact, Ms. Nicole, will you please greet our brothers and sisters real quick before we go over something interesting and then something even more interesting.
All right. We have a full house today. So we have Christina, we have Sarah and William, Steve, which is a new name, welcome to you. We have Sue, Danny Boy, Joanna, Brandy and family, Grace, Jeremy and Callan, Charles, Gail Williams. I'm scrolling, hold on. Jeanette, new name to you, welcome to you. Sister Barb, Belinda from South Africa. Stanley, new name, welcome to you as well. Jamie, new name, welcome. We have Yahuwah Chan, Honeymoon Stitch, Brian, Mike. I'm scrolling. Rafa and his wife, welcome. Loving Yah, the Graham's here. Cindy, King Gigi. And still scrolling. Rafa Yah's here, and I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I do
Rafa,
apologize.
for Yah and his wife, Amanda.
And his wife, yes. Caleb and Amanda.
Caleb and Amanda. All right, guys. Well, this is I love hanging out with all you guys, and it's about the only time of week that it is a complete Kodesh gathering. And what we're going to go over is some beautiful things that, in the terms of what our Creator wants for us. It's really, really simple. But when we look at what the world wants for us, it is somewhat strange. Now, I want to go over something, and this is, I don't think anyone at this table has any idea about what I'm about to go over, but I want to bring to you the polar opposite of the good life that we have, right? We have a good life in terms of the Torah. When we take the laws, the statutes, and commandments of our Creator and fit them into the space of our lives, everything in our lives are better. Now, what I found fascinating is that in the year 1969, Anton LaVey, gentlemen, who's Anton LaVey?
The founder of the Satanic Church.
Founder of the Satanic Church. He wrote a Bible. It's called the Satanic Bible. And it's the actual laws of the Satanist religion. And it's not so much that I want to go over this demon and their demons, but something that I found was very fascinating is that if you decide that you want to be a demon and you want to join the Satanic Church of Satan, there's a couple different degrees in this so-called satanic ritual, right? And it's just like every other satanic military. You go into a place and you're either a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. But let's take a quick look at, if you want to join the Church of Satan, this is your registered groups. Your first degree is called a registered member. It's a basic affiliation. Paying the one-time fee and submitting your paperwork that says you literally want to be part of the Satan's crew, which sounds crazy, but people are actually doing it, right? So all you have to do is fill out some paperwork, say I'm signed on the board with Satan. So there you become a registered first group. Now the second level of this is called the first degree. Now for those who have studied satanic cults and occultic things like Freemasonry, you kind of see where I'm going with this: first degree, second degree, third degree, whatever. But the second degree is what they call, you're a Satanist, right? You're a first degree Satanist. And so if that is your goal in life, after you've done your paperwork and after you've hung out with these demons for long enough, you can become a number 2. Well, if you graduate beyond the second level, you become a witch and warlock. You literally, that is the name of the group. You're like, congratulations, you're now a warlock. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm a warlock. Right? It sounds disturbing, right? Continuing on, the fourth level is a priestess or a priest. Okay, so you go from warlock to priest or priestess of the satanic fraternity. We go to the fifth degree. It's called a magistra. And I don't know what you do to achieve the fourth degree, but, or actually this is the fifth degree, is the magista. But the point of the sixth degree that I'm looking at is called the mega. And it's the fifth degree. It's the highest and rarest level of Freemasonry. 6. It said right here. It says there's 6 of these that are out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
You said it was the 5th.
Well, this says 6th, but they don't count number 1, like the entry. They don't count that as a real level. So what I'm reading here, 6th level, or what they say is the 5th degree, but it's still the 6th level. You become a mega, right? And a megas, and it's the highest and rarest level. And it's explicitly the 5th and highest degree. It's part of the priesthood and reserved for individuals who have demonstrated exceptional understanding and communication of satanic philosophy, plus significant real-world achievements. So I go over this because I think we are at a very incredible place in this world where you have all of these people that have been chanting mega, like for the last, 10 years? right? Ever since the days of the Orange Demon that he came out. And you have all of these people, and I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, we're not just seeing the end times, but we are seeing literally the end times. As I'm watching through the different videos, you can't really wear a mega hat and put your bumper sticker on without getting beat up. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And all these little people that put their little flags out and put their little caps on, and they were chanting mega, which is, when we are looking at the end times, and we're looking at the father of the you-know-what and the demonology and the Satanism that we are witnessing every single day. And we had, in North America, there's only 60% of the people that actually vote, which is a great thing, right? There's 40% that are free men to some degree. But of the 60% that voted, over half of those 60% voted for the Orange Demon. And now you have all of this mega nausea. Everybody is like, oh man, I can't believe I voted for this, and I can't believe where we are at. And every single day, the price of life in the United States is going up and up and up. I don't know how you guys afford it right now. I do not know how you afford it. A box of cereal is $10. We saw an apple price for $3. A single apple, $3, $2.99 for an apple. Bags of chips that used to be $4, $3, $10. Little tiny bags that used to be a quarter in the vending machines, all of growing up, are $5. And the Orange Demon is not going to stop this. And I do worry about those of you in the United States of America, because I see the writing that is on the wall. And I want to encourage everybody that this is a great time to get rid of that old demonic governance system, right? Everything that is part of this, what I would call the old world, the Satanists, right? That are running this world, that are doing this. There is no better time than right now to change teams. And when I say change teams, the team of our government is the Torah team. The Torah of Yahuwah. Now, there's a lot of different Torahs, right? Your wife probably has a Torah for you in your house. If you don't do stuff, you'll probably hear about the laws of your house. You may possibly get into trouble, right? The Satanists, they have all their Torahs, right? If you just look, the 6 different degrees, the 5 leveling up, all it, right? You have to have degrees. But here is the bottom line, is that we don't have to have a membership, and we don't have to sign on a piece of paper, because our membership is a invisible vote. In the invisible vote is that choice that we make, not to be saved, but the choice that we make to follow in the laws, the statutes, and commandments that our Creator has given to us. Now, this is a strange thing in this world, right? Because who in the world ever thinks that this is the right way forward? You look at this confusion that we have in this religious system, and you can't be a Torah keeper because everybody goes, oh, you must be a Jew. They're not educated enough to even understand what they're even saying. People don't understand the religious system. And this religious system that we have all across the world, the 400,000 different religions, every single one of them are contrary to what our scriptures tell us. Now, how did this come to be? How is this that we are at the end of 6,000 years and there's 400,000 different religions, and every single one of them are different than what our scriptures say? How can we explain this? Well, we explain it, with the mega crew, right? Satan has overtaken this entire world. And unfortunately, it does look like our North American friends are at the end of where things are even going to be affordable. And I don't even have advice for you guys. How are if they keep raising these prices up there, what do you do, right? And, the United States has had a first net neutral immigration for the first time ever, right? Nobody's coming to the U.S. People are running away from it. Not only is ICE beating up everybody and taking them out, which is fine, and I'm not saying it's fine beating up the people and taking them out like the way ICE does, but I'm just saying that they aren't even part of this country to begin with. And now the people that are in this country, it seems as if the Orange Demon is flushing everybody down. So, I did a video earlier this week, and I explained to folks, guys, you can buy lentils for dirt cheap, still dirt cheap, and you will never, ever, ever have to worry about running out of food again. You can make everything out of lentils. Lentil bread, lentil soup, lentil this and that. And you will never, ever have to worry about what is coming from that standpoint. So as Torah keepers, let's all be aware of what the situation is. Let's understand that we're about to go over the Torah of the government that we are trying to get into. We are trying to get into a new country, right? All of us. And this country is not a known country. This country is a new Jerusalem. This is a place that Torah keepers and those who love our Creator are welcomed. And this is a place where we will all be keeping these laws, these statutes, and these commandments that we're just about to go over right here. And so, guys, with that, hopefully you guys can find some inspiration out of these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, people will tell you with a frown on their faces that these are horrible things. Like, you cannot keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, but yet all the 400,000 different religions have no value on these Torah commands. And the ones that say they do have value on these Torah commands, well, they'll add 200 other books and commands as well. And so we don't, how do we know what the right way forward is? Well, we got to get rid of these man-made traditions. We got to get rid of and unlearn the lies and come back to the Torah so that we fall under the spiritual protection of our Creator through all of these crazy days. So with that, commandment number 1 is to be fruitful.
Now, number 2, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, having over the fish, fowl, and every living creature. We need to have control over the animals. We shouldn't let them have control over us. There are bearing in every tree is for food. Yahuwah gave us food to eat. Man and woman should build their own families. They're supposed to leave their parents' house and they're supposed to build families.
Master sin. You know, I had the thing with Yah scriptures is that we get appointed times all the time. And this week was, Jade, will you please pet the dog? This week was definitely some incredible appointed times. Guys, we slammed scriptures into prisons this week. I don't know how many we slammed into them, but we got a lot. Because we had a brother that came by and gave us a donation, and immediately I went and ordered scriptures. And I am slamming these scriptures in. And one of these appointed times was a reverend, a guy from California, that he's like, hey, you got a phone number? And he called me up, and he had this deep voice. It sounded like one of these smooth voices that I'm like, it was a great voice. And he and I started chatting. And he is a doctorate. He is a doctor. He has more degrees, more schooling. He went through theology and through all this stuff. And he was telling me at 6 years old, he was asking his dad. He's like, Dad, and he was at a Catholic church at that point. He's like, Dad, tell me what this means. Why are we here? And his dad couldn't give him an answer. And he says, Jason, I've been through the school. I've done this, 30 years of schooling. And he was 26 years in the military as a military chaplain. And now he works in the prisons. And he says, Jason, that same question I asked my dad when I was 6, I'm still looking for this today, but I have come closer to understanding it. And this brother is a Christian minister that has turned Torah. Like, he understands the name of Yahuwah. He understands the name of Yahushua. He understands all. He was going down the Creed of Nicaea. He was like, have you heard of the Creed of Nicaea? I'm like, oh, baby, have I ever heard of it? Let's go. And so he was probably, he didn't have like new information to give me, but we definitely had an appointed time chit chat. And we're shipping these guys boxes of Bibles. The second they get down to 2 or 3, we're shipping them more. And so it is so exciting to be able to slam these scriptures into prisons, into this darkness, having no idea where they even go. I don't even know the names of these guys that they go to, other than we're working with multiple chaplains across the U.S. right now. And it is just an incredible honor to have a ounce of work to be done in this kind of a thing. And so, guys, this is what I was talking to this brother is that we have appointed times all the time. It's not just a Shabbat appointed times. There are meetings. There are synchronous meetings. The meeting I had with my wife 27 years ago, where I just rolled up and she was just a receptionist in the little place I rolled up, that was an appointed time. We had no idea what it would make, how that, a quarter of a century later, we would still be sitting here discussing with all of you guys. These appointed times are appointed times that we make when we sit down with those who are homeless, when we sit down with those who are broken, when we are ministering to those who we can minister to. They're all appointed times. And it may seem very insignificant to you, like it may just be something and you go along your way. But I will tell you firsthand, I have heard stories from 10 years later of something I said that I did not think made any difference whatsoever to this individual. And they tell me a decade later how everything that I said at that one moment changed their lives. And so I bring this up under master sin because I was talking to this brother and I'm like, you know what? This is one of the most impressive commands that I can even come up with, is mastering sin. And when you think about that, and you think about what does it take to become a master, master of anything, you're master carpenter, a master plumber, a master anything, right? You have learned it, you've achieved it, and you are overtaking it. And when we are told to master sin, we're never going to master sin unless we're reading the Torah, unless we're reading the scriptures. This is how we get a degree, a doctorate in the kingdom work. This is how we become very, very educated, by mastering sin and never going a day thinking that, hey, we're sinless. You know what? We're better than somebody else. You know what? We fall under the Torah, and we know that one command is the same as any other command, and that's spooky for us who are keeping Torah, because we know that mastering sin is very, very important. All right, off my soapbox.
Every clean, moving things that live shall be food for you. When Noah got off the ark, Yahuwah gave them meat to eat. He said, all the clean, moving animals, those are for you to eat. Do not eat the blood. Yahuwah says there's life in the blood, and he does not want us to eat it. He said it is holy, it is sanctified, it is something. If blood touches anything, it is unclean. Blood is very, very important to Yahuwah. Walk before me and be perfect. Everything we do, we should strive to be perfect before Yahuwah.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. Yahuwah says to obey his commandments is the most times we have a repeated commandments, over 53 times, and he wants us to obey his commands.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. That is the covenant between Yahuwah and the people of Israel, the circumcision at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants us to keep teaching the future generations so they do not go astray. Look what happened to David and his children. He didn't teach them well, and Solomon didn't teach his children, and then they just all forgot Torah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. We should always remember his name. We should teach to our children. Everyone should know his name.
Keep the Passover, Pesach. Yahuwah wants us to keep the feast, and he says it is the first feast of the year, and it is very important as a remembrance and a future thing.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of matzah. This is the feast where we take all leaven out of the house, where we get rid of it, and we eat unleavened bread for 7 days. There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. Everyone should keep the Torah, not specifically for one set of people. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. The firstborn of Yahuwah, those are his chosen. We are supposed to sanctify them or ransom them. Those are the deliverers to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. Yahuwah says there should be no idols, there should be nothing before him. We do not worship, we do not bow down, we do not sacrifice, only to Yahuwah.
You should not make graven images. We should worship Yahuwah only, and we shouldn't worship anything made on this earth. Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. We are supposed to hold his name in highest reverence. His name is Yahuwah, and it is supposed to be praised, it is supposed to be exalted.
Keep the Shabbat, the Sabbath day. We are here on the seventh day. We're supposed to rest. We're supposed to obey. Yahuwah says it is a law for all generations, and the Shabbat never goes away. The seventh day is for rest for all generations.
Honor your parents. They are the ones who raise you, and you should listen to them and honor them. Do not kill. You are not in charge of who takes a life. You are not supposed to take a life. You are supposed to build up. You are supposed to bring life, but you are not supposed to take away life. That is for Yahuwah to decide.
Do not break wedlock. That is a holy bond between a man and a woman, and if you break wedlock, then you are sinning against Yahuwah.
Do not steal. Do not take what is not yours. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. You are supposed to be honest with your accusations. If you make false accusations, you will be punished. Yahuwah will see you out.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's. If it does not belong to you, it is not yours. Do not covet it. Do not take it, because coveting leads to more sin.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool is touched. If you are building an altar, make it with fresh stones, pure stones that haven't been touched by any tools. If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. If you were to take from the people of Israel, you were supposed to repay it 5 times to make it right, to fix what you have done wrong.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Yahuwah's a law for criminals. Whether you steal, whether you kill. If you kill, you run to a city. If you're innocent, and they figure it out, and then there's also people that can punish you if you killed on purpose.
Do not lie with beasts. That is an abomination for Yahuwah, and anyone who does that needs to be put to death. No sacrifice to other Elohim. You have one Elohim you worship, you have one Elohim you sacrifice to, and that is Yahuwah Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or a widow. They are already oppressed enough. They are already having a tough time as it is, and if you oppress them more, what does that benefit you or them?
Do not charge your brother interest. He is your family. He is your brother. You do not need to make things hard for him if he is taking a loan from you. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset. Back in the day, people only had a set of one garment. His garment was there to sleep in, and he had nothing. He was going to go cold in the night. Yahuwah wants you to return that. He wants people to be able to sleep. They want to be able to sleep in peace. That is Yahuwah who loves us.
Do not curse the ruler of your people. This is not talking about current people. This is supposed to be the one who is over Yisrael, who was holy, anointed person leading the tribes of Yisrael.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast. If you see something that has been destroyed, that has been ravaged by an animal, do not eat it. No false report. Just as do not make false accusations against your neighbor. You have to be honest in your reports of things. If you have something you saw, you are supposed to repeat it honestly, not add lies to it.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. We are supposed to treat everyone fairly, and whether they are rich or poor based on their financial status, we're not supposed to judge them. If they are rich, we do not take bribes from them. We do not let them go off easy just because they are richer than someone else.
Do not follow the multitude of evil. If you see people doing evil, do not follow them. Follow Yahuwah only. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray. If you see an animal and you know who it belongs to, and it belongs to your enemy, you are to return it. The animal is not your enemy. The animal is just an animal, and it is an animal of Yahuwah.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Those are bad people to hang around. Those are people that spread lies. They tell things, secrets. They're people you don't want to be around. They're very unholy people.
Help the animals of your enemy. If you see your enemy's animal that has problems, needs something, help it out. Take no bribes. A bribe corrupts the justice system. It corrupts the way to go, the way Yahuwah wants you to deal with certain subjects. He wants you to deal with certain things. If you take a bribe, you are corrupting it, and you are breaking down what Yahuwah has built up.
Do not oppress the stranger, love the stranger. We must remember that Israel was freed out of Egypt when they were strangers and they were oppressed, and so Yahuwah does not want us to oppress those that strangers that come to our land that are asking for help. Yahuwah does not want us to oppress them.
Your land rests in the 7th year. The land also has a Shabbat and needs rest from plowing and things like that. Do not mention any pagan names. If you mention pagan names, you are bringing up demons. You are disgracing Yahuwah. Yahuwah should be the only one you mention in terms of deity.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah. Yahuwah sets feasts appointed times for us throughout the year, and we are supposed to keep them for all generations. They were never nailed to the cross, or never done away with.
Do not kill your goat in its mother's milk. Something that the pagans did, and is an abomination for Yahuwah. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you. There was a messenger that came before us, named Yahuwah. We were supposed to follow his commands. We were supposed to do as he told us to do, because that was a person directly sent from Elohim.
Do not bow down to other Elohim or gods. When a lot of the world has other Elohim, they have other gods, and everywhere you go, you'll see somebody worshiping something else. And we are not supposed to bow down to them. We're not supposed to worship them or make covenants with them. We have only Yahuwah and Yahuwah only.
Serve Yahuwah. We should always follow Yahuwah and listen to him no matter what. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. This is where if you join hands with someone that is pagan, someone that is evil, you will join them. That is following the multitude of evil.
Do not make or use anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person. These are two concoctions made by the Levites that are supposed to be for anointing, and they give us recipes for them. We are not supposed to put them on ourselves or regular people, or we cut off from the land.
Do not eat the fat. Fat, it has all the toxins from the animal, and when you cook it, Yahuwah likes the smell, so that is his. Do what you say you are going to do. If you made a covenant, if you made a vow, if you gave your word to someone, you are supposed to complete what you said you were to complete.
Return what is your neighbor's. If it doesn't belong to you and you find it, or you're borrowing it, return it to your neighbors. It belongs to them and does not belong to you.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. We should only eat clean food. We shouldn't eat any unclean food like pork, shrimp, things like that. Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. In the land there was set apart hygiene laws, how to deal with touching a corpse, how to deal with sickness, how to deal with disease, how to deal with flesh wounds, how to deal with touching all sorts of different things, and how to clean yourself off.
Women's time of separation. Yahuwah says that women have time of separation, and they are supposed to have their time of rest, and we're supposed to help them.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. This is another appointed time of Yahuwah where we are supposed to afflict our beings and repent. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. This is a great sin. This is a sin that a lot of the world does, and this is something, an abomination that Yahuwah said do not to do. If you were to do this, you were to get taken out and stoned.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife. We saw with Rachel and Leah and how they were married to the same man, and the contention it caused between them and their children, and that just wasn't a great environment to be around.
Do not laugh at a woman for uncleanness. She's supposed to have a place away that she can rest, and you're not to disturb her. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch. You should not be sacrificing your children at all. But back in the day, Moloch was a big thing to sacrifice your children to, and we are not to do that. We are supposed to stay away from that.
Do not be a sodomite. That is a sin. Yahuwah says to be kodesh, to be holy, and that is something very, very unholy.
Be kodesh, holy. Everything we do, we should worship Yahuwah, and we can do that by being holy. Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. When you had a field, you were to leave some of it for the stranger, fatherless, or you were supposed to leave it for certain people that are poor and unable to provide for themselves to have some food.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. We are not supposed to treat our neighbor wrongly. We're not supposed to steal from him or trick him or deceive him or testify falsely against him. We're supposed to take care of our neighbor and love our neighbor as ourselves.
Do not lie or be a liar. You're supposed to be truthful and honest in everything you do. Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due. When the day is up and the worker is done, you are supposed to pay him. You are supposed to give him the wage so that he does not go away hungry.
Do not harm the disabled. The disabled is already having issues. If they're disabled, they're already struggling with stuff in their lives, and if you harm them, you are only making their lives worse.
Do not endanger your neighbor. Don't cut a tree down by its house. Don't put him in harm's way when you can put him in safe way. Do not hate your brother. In the command we are to love our brother, we are supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. And hating our brother only brings more evil.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin. If you see your neighbor in sin, you're supposed to go and tell him that he is in sin. You're supposed to rebuke him and help him and set him on the right path.
Love your neighbor as yourself. You should be loving your neighbor as much as you would love yourself. Do not diverse your cattle. You are supposed to have one set of cattle that is a specific breed. You're not supposed to mix them. You're not supposed to create them. This genetically messes up the animals.
Do not mingle your seed. When you are planting, you're supposed to keep things spread out so that they do not mingle and start creating hybrid plants.
Do not mingle linen and wool. When you have these two fabrics together, they create a vibration that is very harmful for the human body. Do not lie with a taken woman. This is another sin. If you were to do this, you were to get taken out in stone. This breaks wedlock. This breaks relationships, breaks trust, and this is a sin you are not supposed to take part in.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. The fruit of the trees are supposed to take in their nutrients, supposed to reabsorb the nutrients so that they can give you good fruit and you do not stunt their growth.
Do not practice sorcery. Everyone who did that would be put to death. Do not round your beard to the corners of your head. You are to grow your beard out or not at all. The pagans stylize their beards, they round it, they put special designs in their beards, and we are not supposed to do anything of that sort.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. We're not supposed to cut ourselves for the dead and mess up our bodies. That is something that Yahuwah says not to do. And don't cut yourself, but don't cut yourself for the dead in mourning, or because it's what pagans do.
Do not get tattoos. You should keep your body clean and pure before Yahuwah. Do not prostitute your daughter. Another sin that should not even have to be a command, but do not do this. This is evil. This is grave sin.
Do not defile your temple. And now we don't have a temple to worship in. Our temples can be considered our body. We're supposed to take care of them. We're supposed to cut them. We're not supposed to mark them with tattoos. We're supposed to take care of our bodies.
Do not consult the medium. We're supposed to stay far away from mediums and sorcerers.
Respect your elders. The elders have been a long time. They will have wisdom. They will have experience. They will have the things to help you, and you're supposed to respect them. You're supposed to respect their judgment.
Have correct weights and measures. When you are doing business and when you are doing anything, you're supposed to be honest about it. It's supposed to be fair and balanced. And if you are cheating someone, then you do not have correct weights or measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations. You should only walk in the way of Yahuwah and not any other way.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, overcount, and Pentecost. The feast Yahuwah has for us, when we have first of our produce, which is to give it to him and his priests. We don't have priests, so we can, at this point, you can give it to some homes, you can help them out, and give it to them that Yahuwah would see that as a blessing.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah. It is the day of blasting where you blow your shofar.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. Sukkot is a 7-day feast where we celebrate outside in tents, outside in booths, in remembrance of the children of Israel when they lived in booths for 40 years.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. You do not take Yahuwah's name in vain. You do not curse his name. You do not use his name to swear falsely or to convince people that you are telling the truth when you are not. If you do, you should be put to death. That was the punishment for those who were blaspheming the holy name of Yahuwah.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. More correct weights and measures.
Repay injury for injury. If you were to injure someone, you were supposed to receive the injury. Yahuwah said, forgive those who do harm to you. But Yahuwah wants justice on his system.
Honor the Jubilee year. The Jubilee year is a year of return. It's supposed to go back to the people, their land, to set the slaves free. We are supposed to basically to return things so everyone is on an equal playing field.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who trespassed against. If you have sinned, tell Yahuwah, confess to Yahuwah, and repay however you can against the person you sinned against.
Sarah has a question. Would an arranged marriage be considered prostituting your daughter?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think that'd be considered prostitution.
Why are you guys looking at me?
You'd do better answer than I would.
So the question is what?
Would arranged marriages be considered prostituting your daughter?
No, I mean the whole point of an arranged marriage is that it's I mean you're not, that's the point, right? I mean if you're married, you're not in prostitution per se, right? I mean not even a per se. So no, I mean I don't think that, right? The act of prostitution is well, I mean you're just selling for a one-time gig and then it's over, right? So no, I think arranged marriages. I mean, there's actual biblical arranged marriages. I mean, that's a thing in the scriptures. And so, no, I think it's arranged marriage is all good. Let's continue on.
Carry on.
As far as I know.
Where are we at? Loving and Nazir. Wear these on the four corners of your garments. You are to wear 4 tassels. You are supposed to wear them as a sign, as a remembrance of Yahuwah. You are surrounded by the name of Yahuwah. You are surrounded by the commands of Yahuwah at all times. This is how the people will identify the people of Yahuwah. It's lost in spot.
Where are we at?
Laws of her touch the corpse. There are laws on that you're unclean and how to bathe after touching a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Yahuwah has law of inheritance of how to receive of those of your ancestors, of your parents, and who it goes to, if the closest relative or if the person doesn't have sons.
Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. When you swear, when you do an oath, and you do it to Yahuwah, you should never break that.
Do not add or take away from the word. Guys, this is probably one of the most important commandments in scriptures. And this is my opinion. But if we simply kept this commandment, right? Commandment was at 108, where we are, Deuteronomy 4:2. If we had this one commandment, and this is the one commandment that we followed, then things would be much better in our lives, right? Because the first time that we started worshiping on Sunday, we would go back to commandment 108. Okay, well, we shouldn't be worshiping on a Sunday because we're absolutely adding to the scriptures. Well, what about eating unclean food? Well, that's adding to and taking away. We have Leviticus 11. It very clearly tells us what our dietary laws are, what is food and what is not food, what is classified as filth and various things. So if there's nothing else that any of us get today, unlearning the lies absolutely begins with understanding this basic command. And when we get stuck in the misunderstandings of life, well, we don't have to go to a priest. We don't have to go to somebody. We don't have to go to anybody. We can go to the page 1, and we can simply read through the Torah, and we can see what our old homeboy Moshe told the people. Because those same rules and regulations that were for all those people back then are for all us people now. And so, guys, please remember this. As traditions of men plague us and plague our societies and plague, it's like once you get programmed with this traditions of men, some people it's nearly impossible to ever unprogram. In fact, you actually have to unprogram people in a specific way. And the only way you can ever really unprogram people is they unprogram themselves. And you ask them questions, right? It's unprogramming people is simply about asking them questions that they have to answer themselves. And if they're able to open their eyes and come out of the doctrines of devils, there you go. But a lot of people you won't. You're not going to be able to tell people the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator are good for all times, because those are fighting words in this satanic religious system that we are in. Continue on. Guard your soul. Another one of my favorite commands of all time. How in the world do we guard our soul? Well, we guard our soul by reading this Torah. And not just reading the Torah, but we shema, right? Guarding our soul is hearing and obeying. When we are loyal to our Creator, and that's the only way we can say that we're loyal, right? You can say, oh, I love God with all my heart, mind, and soul, but I hate His commandments, right? There's no loyalty there, right? You can just say, oh yeah, I love my wife with all my heart, mind, and soul, and you're a crazy adulterer out there. And all of a sudden you're like, well, obviously he doesn't love his wife if he's out there with all these other women. Same with our Creator, right? When you are worshiping on a Sunday, when we're keeping traditions of men, we're becoming harlots to our Creator. We're going against Him, and this is why all the tribes of Israel ended up in captivity, to the point where we're still in captivity and we're still looking for the kingdom. So continue on, fellas.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. Learning to fear Yahuwah is the beginning of reverence to Yahuwah. It is the beginning of following His commandments. When you fear Yahuwah, you're not going to go around disobeying Him, going against what He says.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the front between your eyes. We are supposed to have the laws with us at all times. We're supposed to be a part of us and supposed to be attached to our lives.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart. Everything we do, we should be loving Yahuwah. We should worship Yahuwah, and we should never stray from Him. Write the laws on your doorposts. When you go in, when you go out, you're supposed to remember the laws. It is supposed to be on the top of your mind. It is supposed to be the thing you remember when you go out, because you're supposed to look at the world through the Torah. You're supposed to see and make your choices by the Torah.
Next.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. We shouldn't tempt Him. We shouldn't try and get Him to do things that would be considered tempting Him. Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. What is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah is doing the Torah, obeying His commands, following the Torah, living according to the Torah.
And that's the only way that we would ever know what is right and good in the eyes of Yahuwah. It's also how we know what is wrong and not right in the eyes of Yahuwah, because He very clearly tells us. There's no mystery to the Torah, folks. There's no mystery to the walk, the kingdom walk. It's very clearly displayed in front of us.
Do not be afraid of your enemies. Yahuwah wants us to be strong and courageous in the face of our enemies. Yahuwah is fighting for us, and we do not be afraid of them when they come at us.
Remember Yahuwah. We should never forget Him wherever we are. We should always be thinking about Yahuwah. We should always be remembering Yahuwah. Circumcise your heart. Just like a circumcision at 8 years old, we're supposed to enter into a covenant. We're supposed to humble ourselves before Yahuwah.
8 days, right?
Yeah.
I think you said 8 years.
8 days.
8 days old. Oh, that's all right. We're here. We're here to help.
Cleave to Yahuwah. You are to strive to be His people. You are supposed to cling to Him. You are supposed to hook your star to Him.
Swear by His name. We are supposed to swear by His name. We're supposed to honor Him. We're supposed to use His name, and we are supposed to be Yahuwah's people.
Destroy graven images. Can't really do this one anymore, or you'll be put in prison. But back in the day, if you saw a graven image, you would destroy it.
Do not make an idol of the pagans as Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Yahuwah does not need a physical image. He does not want us to create something out of wood and stone for Him. He wants us to serve by faith.
Okay.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. You are to be rejoiceful. You're supposed to be Kodesh in all that Yahuwah has given you. Do not do what is right in your own eyes. We should only be doing what is right by what the Torah says, by what Yahuwah wants to do, and not what we think is right.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets. Yahuwah is a prophet test for us, and if they start trying to lead us astray, we do not do what they say. We kick them out of the camp, and they kick them out. Yeah, get rid of them.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. This is probably talking about shaving your eyebrows, and it's something that the pagans would do.
You shall not eat any abominable thing. Well, how do we know what an abominable thing is? Well, we have Leviticus 11, Wa'ikra 11. And that very, very clearly tells us that what is good, what is not. This is why we have a lot of sickness, why we have a lot of cancers, right? It's not just that pig is filthy and disgusting and toxic to your body. It's that when you are frying up bacon, the black stuff is, when it's all black, it's carcinogen. And so every slice of bacon that you have cooked, you're leading yourself to the big C word, the big cancer, right? And it could be any part of cancer. I mean, you can get it, who knows where it's going to attack. But when you eat things that you're not supposed to eat, and then you bake the blackness into it, and you think it's like some crispy, crunchy, tender, flaky snack, it ain't. It's poison. And so we are told that we're not to eat abominable things. Our bodies are to be a temple. We're supposed to keep these things as clean as we can possibly keep them.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies itself, but you shall not eat of it. Something you have is clean food and it dies. You're not to eat it, but you can give it to the stranger. They are probably hungry. They probably need it, when it is not something you want to eat.
You tithe your increase of seed year by year. When we had increase of our produce, we were supposed to give it to a tithe to the Levites so that they had something to eat, because they didn't have work like we had to work. They were serving Yahuwah at all times, and so we would go and give them tithe, and that was basically their payment and how they lived.
Well, as of the end of the 7-year lease, just like Julie, there was also a 7-year lease. We were release things like slaves, debts, and things like that. Do not borrow from the nations. You're not supposed to be in debt from other nations. You're supposed to be able to borrow from in between your brothers. You're supposed to be able to borrow your brothers without interest.
And we're seeing this right now, and I hate to keep bringing up the United States of America, but that's my homeland. And so, 11 years ago when we left the United States of America, we saw what was coming right now. And what we're seeing right now is I was just watching these poor people, the poor Americans that are just, they're bewildered. One guy was paying $900 a month for mortgage. They called him and they're like, well, it's going to be like $990, it's $1,000. He goes, why? I'm current. They're like, well, your insurance went up, and so your what is it called? Escrow went down or something of the sort. And the guy's like, I can't even do this. And this is what is happening all across North America. And it's hard to get ahead anywhere. But when we are borrowing from the nations, we have fallen into this trap. And most of the people in the U.S. are going to lose their houses. It's just a matter of time before it all gets returned up to where it is going based upon the direction of this country. Okay, continue on, fellas.
Harden your heart. Don't shut your hand from the poor. You're supposed to be kind to the poor. You're supposed to be open-hearted. You're supposed to be willing to give to the poor. You're not supposed to harden yourself. You're not supposed to become cold and callous towards the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar. Month 1 is very important to Yahuwah. It's the opening of the year. It is the first feast of the year. It is Yahuwah wants us to guard and obey his days.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah. Back when it was actually the Kodesh land of Yahuwah, all males were supposed to go to Jerusalem and appear during 3 of the feasts. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates. In the Holy Land, in the time of the Holy Wars, so we feel like we could rely on there. We feel like have authority, and carry out laws and justices in the gates of Jerusalem.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. It's an idol that people worship. We're not plant near the altar at all. We're not supposed to deal with these kind of things as they are idols.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. When someone is being accused, there must be 2 or 3 witnesses to verify what they're saying is true. Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen. If there was a real prophet, a prophet that was proven to be true by Yahuwah, then you should listen to him. You should do as he said. He had the word directly from Yahuwah.
Prophet tested Deuteronomy. We are supposed to test the prophets. When someone came to us and they said something and it is not true, or they try to get us to stray away from Yahuwah, then we know whether they are true or false.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line. What you have is enough. You shouldn't be stealing from your neighbors. How to deal with a false witness among Torah hearers. If there was someone that was doing false witnessing, you were supposed to imply the punishment that he intended to put on the other person.
The first child is to get double portions. Yahuwah says the oldest child of the family is to get double portions of the inheritance, that they can take care of the family.
If your brother's cattle or clothes lost, you find them, you must return them. If you see someone's stuff missing somewhere and you find them, return it to him.
A woman shall not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. They are supposed to stay men, and men are supposed to be men, and women are supposed to be women, and we are not supposed to try to pervert what Yahuwah has created.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother. If you found a bird's nest that was on the floor, on the ground, and they could not get back and defend themselves, you're supposed to take the eggs, because the eggs and the babies, they cannot defend themselves, but the mother can reproduce, so you can take care of herself. If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it. Back in the day, they would have flat roofs where people lived on, and they would put the railing around so nobody could fall off and get hurt.
Do not be a prostitute. Yahuwah says, do not be a prostitute. We do not want to be. That is wickedness to be that kind of a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money. You are not supposed to take the dirty money and put it into Yahuwah's temple. You are not supposed to use dirty money. You're supposed to stay away from all sorts of evil gain.
Torah, the law of divorce, and it is one of those things that it's tough, right? Marriage is one of these things that is the greatest thing that could ever be, or an unequally yoked marriage could be a horrible thing, right? It could be a family-wrecking, life-wrecking endeavor. And so, the divorce is there, and it's there for the hardened of hearts. But like Messiah Yahushua said, it's there because people couldn't do what was right. They couldn't find the kindness and gentleness and love in their heart to continue on in the relationship.
Do not take a purchase millstone for a pledge. Back in the day, that was the only thing that they had for food, to make money, things like that. If you do that for them, you were basically taking their life from them. If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge. If your brother was to borrow something and he gave you his clothes as a pledge, if he gave it to you as a keeping so that he would pay you back, you should give it to him back before the end of the night so that he does not go cold. Let your brother pay you back. This is why you do not charge your brother interest.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy. They are already poor and needy, and if they are working for you and you oppress them, what good does that do anyone?
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Children are not put to death for the sins of the fathers, and the fathers are not put to death for the sins of the children. Everyone is put to death for their own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow. If you forgot something in the field and it is not important to you, leave it for those who need it. Leave it for those who are hungry. You are supposed to leave food in the earth so that the people that cannot fend for themselves have something to eat.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain. If you have your ox free for you, do not muzzle him. Let him eat when he does it. If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother. In order to build up your brother's family, in order to build up his name when he dies, if he had no children, you shall name the firstborn and take his wife and take care of that family.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. Every 7 years, you are supposed to read the Torah altogether as a country, as a tribe of Yisrael, and these people were supposed to know the Torah so they did not forget. So every 7 years, they would get a refresher on what the law was about.
So there you go, friends, family. These are these simple unbondage laws, statutes, and commandments that we have for our thing. Okay, let us get into our reading here. This is the reading in Devarim, and this is we are two more chapters I think we have in Devarim. We have one chapter out of James. We're kicking through these scriptures here, which is amazing. So, one of you guys give me a breakdown of the life and the world of Yisrael to this point.
So we're with Moshe, who is getting near the end of his life, and he spent the greater half of the end of his life with the children of Israel. He's from 80 to 120. He's been taking them through the desert, fighting, striving with them, trying to get them to listen to Yahuwah, trying to get them to obey Yahuwah, trying to get them to put their faith in Yahuwah. 40 years he's been wandering the desert with them, and he got to the point where they angered him so much that he is no longer allowed into the promised land. He is no longer allowed to go in there. He can only see it from the outside, and he will die outside of the land. When he's getting towards the end of his life, Yahushua, is presented before all the people, and they said, this is now who is going to be in charge. I am dying. I am going out. I cannot take care of myself anymore, and you will take care of the people. This is Joshua, and you will listen to his command. So now Moshe is writing his song. He's ending his life, and he's basically finishing up things before Yahuwah brings him to his forefathers.
Okay. All right, so let's hear. Here we are, Devarim, chapter 32. Give ear, O Shamayim, O heaven, let me speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Let my instruction fall as rain, my speech drop down as dew, as fine rain on the tender plants, and as showers on the grass. For I proclaim the name of Yahuwah, ascribe greatness to our Elohim. Okay, this is a big thing, right? For I proclaim the name of Yahuwah. What other people do we have out there in this world that we have that we are that this is part of our gig, right? For those of us that are Torah keepers, that are the restored name Torah keepers, those of us that reject words like God and the son of Zeus, right? And when I say the son of Zeus, I'm not talking about Messiah Yahushua. I'm talking about the guy they call Jesus, right? The name that was never ever Jesus. The son of the Most High's name was never Jesus. It was never ever. There were no J's in Hebrew. When you're looking at how would a Hebrew man's name end up with a Greek name, it wouldn't, right? That would just be an abomination to those who are in the Hebrew lands. You're not going to walk around and see the pagans outside of it and then find a name you like and name your kid this. And so if the name under heaven by which men may be saved is not that, then how do we figure this out? Well, when we look at the Paleo Hebrew, and that is always the argument, because you have everybody that argues the English names of everything, right? They're like, well, it's Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh. There's 10 different names or different ways that people are throwing this, and the bottom line is that we're still arguing an English name when the name was in Paleo Hebrew. And so if we're throwing stones at somebody that says Yahweh instead of Yahuwah or Yahuwah, they don't put a UA at the end, they put an A at the end. I've seen every variety that there possibly is. Well, we're still proclaiming the name of Yahuwah, right? It's far better than a surtitle of Mr. or God, right? There's lots of little gods and lots of, Paul to some people is a god, a lowercase g God. And they will clearly say, Paul said, as they deny the Torah of our Creator. Continuing on. What's that? 4. The rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are right ruling, in ale of truth, and without unrighteousness, righteous and straight is he. And this is a description of our Creator, right? When it says there's righteous and straight is he, we come to the Creed of Nicaea. And, when I was talking about this brother that called, there were a couple things I didn't know when he was describing this. And I don't get to sit down often and speak to guys that have spent 30 years in school getting their doctorates and getting all this stuff. And it was an appalling. It was a great conversation. And it's rare that I get to get feedback from stuff I don't know. But he was talking about the Creed of Nicaea, and he's like, well, it's the people that weren't there is who you actually need to understand. And he was telling me that one of the guys who was actually there 4 years before he was ever there, this guy wasn't even a priest. And so they wrapped this guy up into this, and this whole Creed of Nicaea, where they went and they basically, they made a trinity. They made all of these different kinds of declarations that are not true. And the thing is, none of these people were ever qualified to do this. Now, the qualifications that you would have to have out of the gate is you would have to abide by Deuteronomy 4:2. You would not add, you would not take away from the Torah. So if you're adding anything such as the Trinity, you're breaking Deuteronomy 4:2. So if you are in the understanding that your Creator and his Son are the same individuals, when very clearly in Deuteronomy 6, our Creator says he is one, then we have to understand, where did we come up with these sick dogmas? Where did we come up with these traditions of men? How did we come up that we think that this is one same individual? And when our Messiah is praying, who's he praying to if it's the same person? Is he talking to himself? When our Messiah very clearly says he is not Yahuwah, that he is doing the wishes of Yahuwah, that, excuse me, he comes doing the works of his Father. But yet we still have this understanding, and our Creator very clearly, by the words of Moshe, he's righteous and straight. So if our Creator was not righteous and straight, and we could come up with some sort of deception, then maybe the Trinity could be valid if we're okay with somebody who is not a liar, who is not a deceiver, who is everything but that, and in fact has been labeled as righteous and straight. So I think the deduction that we would have to come up with is that Yahuwah is one. Yahushua is one. They are two individuals. And when we do something other than that, then we are taking scriptures and we are breaking the commandments ourselves. The simple belief that Yahuwah and Yahushua are the same individuals breaks scriptures in of themselves. Continuing on. A twisted and wicked generation has corrupted itself. They're blemish, not his children. And you look at this, right? This is Moshe back in the day. Can you imagine what he would say about the generation we're in right now, right? We live in the Epstein class. We live in a world where pedophilia is the religion. The Satanism is the religion. Everybody is turning to it whether they like it or not. And by default, if you choose just not to be a part of anything, well, ignorance is not bliss when you're standing in the fire. We will go to judgment, the last day that we take our very last breath. We, according to second Esdras, we will go into a place of greatness, or we will go into a place of horribleness, and we will be sitting there. And so now's the time to change, right? Now's the time to change teams if you're not on the right team. Continuing on. Do you do this to Yahuwah, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your Father who bought you, who created you and established you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your Father and let him show you, your elders, and let them say to you, When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he established the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the children of Elohim. Now, this is a thing, right? Every single one of us have been given boundaries. Every single one have been given a what to do and what not to do. And a lot of people don't realize it, that the Torah in of itself is our boundaries. This is how we know how to conduct ourselves, right? We wouldn't know what the boundaries are. We would live like good little Christians that are waiting for this magical school bus rapture because we don't know what the boundaries are. When we walk in Torah, when we recite Torah, when we cleave to Torah, when we cleave to our Creator, when we love our Creator with all our heart, mind, and soul, we love His Torah and we love His ways. And that is the boundaries of the kingdom people, right? There are things the kingdom people will not do. We don't eat blood. We don't commit adultery. We don't do all this crazy stuff the pagans do. That's not our people. Our people are the Torah-based people. Our people are Elohim's people. Continuing on. 9. For the portion of Yahuwah is his people, Yaakov, his allotted inheritance. Great words, right? The portion of Yahuwah is his people. I want to be his portion. I want to be a friend of Elohim. I want to be somebody he considers. We know that Abraham was a friend of Elohim. What an honor. What an honor to be a created entity and actually become a friend of the Creator. There's nothing more that we could ever do to find a goal in life. And that should be our goal, everything. It doesn't matter what this world does. It doesn't matter how we conduct ourselves. It matters how we conduct ourselves in the eyes of Yahuwah. And if we are conducting ourselves as he wants us to do, as he has asked us to do. Continuing on. He found him in a wilderness and in a wasted, howling desert. He encompassed him. He made him understand. He watched over him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest, flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, taking them up, bearing them on its wings. Yahuwah alone led him, and there was no strange mighty one with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth, and he ate the fruit of the fields, and he made him to draw honey from the rock, and oil from the flinty rock, curds from the cattle, and milk of the flock, with fatness of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the choicest wheat, and you drank wine, the blood of grapes. But Yeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat, you grew thick. You are covered with fat. So he forsook Eloah, who made him, and scorned the rock of his deliverance. And they moved him to jealousy with the foreign. With abominations they provoked him. They slaughtered to demons, not Eloah. Mighty ones they did not know. New ones who came lately, which your fathers did not reverence. You neglected the rock who brought you forth, and forgot the El who fathered you. And Yahuwah saw and despised because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. Guys, we live in this world of provocation, right? Is there a world, is there a day that we get up in this day and age that you can look out the door and think this world is not provoking our Creator, right? From all of the satanic garbage that we see from the beginning of the day all the way to the very end of the day. It's all over, right? You can't even turn on a television set, which you shouldn't, without seeing nakedness, without seeing lewdness, without seeing sodomy, without seeing degradation. Things that your eyes are the windows to the soul, and you're forever getting your eyes misted up. You won't be able to see after this, right? You can't undo this. And Yahuwah saw and despised because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, let me hide my face from them. Let me see what their end is. For they are a perverse generation, children in whom there is no trusting. They made me jealous by what is not Il. They provoked me with their worthlessness, but I make them jealous by those who are no people. I provoke them with a foolish nation. For a fire was kindled in my wrath, and burns to the bottom of Sheol, and consumes the earth and its increase, and lights on fire the foundations of the mountains. I gather evils upon them. I use up my arrows upon them, wasted by scarcity of food and consumed by heat, and bitter destruction, and the teeth of beasts I send upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword bereaves from the outside, and fear from within, both young man and maiden, nursing child and the man of gray hairs. I said, I should blow them away. I should make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. If I did not fear the enemy's taunt, lest their adversaries misunderstood, lest they say, our hand is high, and Yahuwah has not done all this. For they are a nation lost to counsel, and there's no understanding in them. If they were wise, they would understand this. They would consider their latter end. How would one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight unless their rock had sold them and Yahuwah had given them up? For their rock is not like our rock. Even our enemies are judges. Their vine is of the vine of Sedom and of the fields of Amorah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents and the fierce venom of cobras. Is it not stored up with me, sealed up among my treasures? Vengeance is mine, and repayment at the time their foot slips. For near is the day of the calamity, and the preparations are hastening to them. This is a big thing, right? Vengeance is mine. We hear this. It's one of these things. Everyone's like, well, vengeance is mine. But do people really understand that truly vengeance is our Creator's? And the thing about the vengeance of our Creator, which is a good thing, is that he's extremely patient and long-suffering. Or all of us would have already been an end of his vengeance. Because thankfully enough, I am not Yahuwah. I would not want this job. Because I would see the people, and it would be like one or two times, and I'd burn off the whole civilization. It would be done. It'd be game over, right? If they didn't want me, I would make sure that they didn't have me. This is the reason that our Creator is special in all things, is that we absolutely have a little bit of play, and this is why coming back into this government, the right government, today's the day, right? Torah is the way. And if we want to be part of this kingdom where vengeance is our Creator's, and we stand behind him as he sets the rest of the world on fire, that's where we want to be. 36. For Yahuwah rightly rules his people and has compassion on his servants. When he sees that their power is gone and there is no one remaining, shut up or at large. And he shall say, where is their mighty ones, the rock in whom they sought refuge? Who ate the fat of their slaughterings and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them arise and help you. Let it be a hiding place for you. See now that I am he, and there is no Elohim besides me. I put to death and I make alive. I have wounded and I heal. And from my hand no one delivers. For I lift my hand to the Shemaim and shall say, as I live forever. If I have sharpened my flashing sword, my hand takes hold on judgment, I shall return vengeance to my enemies and repay those who hate me. I make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword devours flesh, with the blood of the slain and the captives from the long-haired enemy chiefs. O nations, acclaim his people, for he avenges the blood of his servants and returns vengeance to his adversaries, and shall pardon his land, his people. Then Moshe came, and Yahushua, son of Nun, and spoke all the words of the song in the hearing of the people. And when Moshe ended speaking all these words to all Yisrael, he said to them, lay your heart on all the words with which I warn you today, so that you command your children to guard, to do all the words of this Torah. We have 46 verses right here, and it gets to the end of the 46 verses. And again, Moshe tells us over and over and over, and he's saying it yet again over, that we need to lay our hearts on all the words which he warned us today. Now, we're here today. We're being warned, all of us, so that we command our children. And this is one thing we always do in this house. I'm always encouraging my children to come into the Torah and make sure that we are not wandering away from the protection of the Torah. Because when you fall from Torah, if you are truly a child of the Most High, our Father is going to come get you. He's going to come spank you. And it's going to be something that you may not understand, but it's going to be something that he's bringing back his sheep. Not all the sheep know his voice, but the ones who do, those are the ones who he will chastise. And so when life doesn't seem like it's working out like it should, maybe we should consider, are we forcing the hand of a creator for us doing something wrong? It's time for prayer, time for fasting, time for supplication. 47. For it is not a worthless word for you, because it is your kai. It is your life. Okay? What is your life? Well, the words of the Torah. What he said in 46. Your children to guard to do all the words of this Torah, for it is not a worthless word for you, because it is your life. And by this word you prolong your days on the land which you pass over the Yarden to possess. Now, for all of us today, this is the same thing. For the word that we heard from Moshe is not worthless, because it is life for all of us. And it is by the word of Moshe that we are going to prolong our lives on this land. How are we going to prolong the lives? How are we going to do it? Well, you may not get sickness. You may not go into the hospital like the rest of the people that are eating unclean foods and getting sick all the time. Eating the roadkill, right? There is life in the Torah. There's physical life in the Torah. There's spiritual life in the Torah. It's a lifestyle. And when you get into this lifestyle, anything outside of this lifestyle is weird. It just speaks weird to what we know. 48. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe that same day, saying, go up to this mountain of the mountain of Ephraim, Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, which is opposite Jericho, and look at the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel as a possession, and die on the mountain which you ascend, and be gathered to your people. So Aaron, your brother, died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people, because you trespassed against me in the midst of the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you did not kadosh me in the midst of the children of Israel. For you are to look at the land before you, but not enter there, into the land which I am giving to the children of Israel. So, this is a sad moment, right? This is very, very, very sad. And these are the moments in the scriptures that I look at and I wonder, am I clean enough? Am I walking this Torah enough? If Moshe, the man of men, is able to have this kind of a punishment for something that looks in human eyes as something that's not that big of a deal. It seems like other things would be a much bigger deal. How would this be a curse that you would not even be able to go in the land? And this is the hand, this is the eyes of our Creator. And what Moshe had that a lot of us have never had is direct communication with the Creator of the universe, right? When Creator says that Moshe is his friend and this is the man, these are people that spent a lot of time together. So in that account, it seems as if Moshe is held to a different standard, a higher standard than hitting the rock, than speaking to the rock. It's one of these things. Us as humans, we're like, wow, that is hardcore. That is a tough punishment for something of this sort. And so it's something to consider for all of us. Are we doing what we need to do? And if we aren't, do we understand that we could very well be on the outskirts looking in as we are getting reprimanded by the Creator of the universe for what we did? So big stuff to consider, all of it to consider. All right, here we are into the book of Yaakov. This is the last chapter of the book of Yaakov. And this is maybe you guys in the chat can give us some good ideas on where we should go out of Yaakov. What's the next step? We'll take into account for that as we do some praying and figure out what is a good book to go into next. And we just want to keep on rolling through all of this. And as we get to the end of Devarim, what we're going to do on Shabbats, I believe, I was thinking about it, is we'll probably end up doing our own little Shabbat readings, but we'll continue on through the scriptures, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Means we'll have our own little, it's not going to be the Judaistic Torah portions, it's going to be the one that we set up over at Yahoo and the Torah, and we'll probably end up reading through the scriptures in a year based upon that reading, but we're going to continue on going into the book of Yehoshua and the rest of them so that we can kind of walk into captivity so that we can see where we're at, and we'll just keep on rocking through this. So the book of Yaakov, Cade, will you please give us a breakdown of where we are at?
So we have Yaakov James, who is like one of Yehoshua's right-hand man, one of the closest people to him in his time on earth. He was one of the people that was always with him. He was able there to see the people that were raised from the dead. He was ones that were able to see the secrets of the kingdom when the people came down the mountain. So he knows a lot. He understands a lot of Yehoshua. He understands the Torah, and he's here in his little 5-book thing. He's here to explained to us that the Torah is still here, and he's explained to us what kingdom people look like and how we should be acting and how we should be living and why the Torah is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, just reading the chat, guys.
Hannah says Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel. That's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah, we'll thank you, Hannah. Let's get rolling into this. Okay, here we are, guys. Yaakov James, the brother of Messiah Yahushua. What does this legend have for us today? Come now, rich ones, weep, crying aloud over the hardships coming upon you. Your riches have rotted, and your garments have become moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have become rusty, and their rust shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh like fire. You have laid up treasure in the last days. See the wages of the workmen who mowed your fields, which you kept back, cry out, and the cries of the reapers have reached the ears of Yahuwah of hosts. All right, well, there's a couple things here, right? The very first thing here is, we live in a world of possessions. And I will tell you, when we came down here this 11 years ago, that was what we had tried to hoard out of the United States of America, was our possessions, right? We made a couple different trips down here, and we, at the second trip that we actually made back to the States, where we gathered all the stuff that we had, because we figured out we could actually float it down here versus having to drive it.
You did.
I did.
Only you.
It was only me. I kept my family down here safe and sound while I went back and forth to Babylon to get us out. But one thing that we discovered when we came down here after many years of being down here is that pretty much everything gets destroyed. All my great tools, besides my kids destroying all my tools, which kids do, the ones I do have left are rusted out. They're all jacked up, like stuff that you look in the States and you don't see any kind of rust. You don't see any kind of stuff. We tried to preserve just about everything. Everything wooden is pretty much smoked. Like, we are in the land of, we've had just stuff rot out. Dressers just fall apart. Pieces, just, the humidity is so high. It'll look good for a little bit. A year or two later, it's dust. It becomes a flimsy things. And, that is, I learned a tremendous amount by trying to gather my own possessions out of Babylon and seeing that, indeed, all the scriptures are right? We're all trying to keep our, we're trying to keep up tasks and all the awards of being here in this land, when indeed all of this is going to disappear before our eyes, right? We don't walk away from this land with anything other than our souls. And in that, it takes us back to the guard our soul commandment. And in that avenue of guarding our soul, it becomes evidently clear that it's not about possessions, that it's about what you're giving versus what you're receiving. And are we abiding by the Torah laws, and are we becoming citizens of the kingdom? Because everything here is shot, right? These lands, from scriptures, we know the mountains around us are going to be crushed. The trees are going to be uprooted. The lands are all going to be burned up. Right? When you read the end times descriptions of what the world ends up with, it sounds pretty bad. It sounds like everything gets smoked. And it's not about us laying these possessions here in these lands. It's about us getting this credit card for the kingdom to come. And the credit for the kingdom to come is simply being loyal, right? We get our credit score based upon our Torah score. Are we keeping the laws, the statutes, and the commandments? Are they everything in our life? Are they everything to our worlds? Are we forcing them into our family environment? Are we making them all of this? Or are we trying to do like we did and keep our wooden things from the States without them falling apart and, get all this stuff? So just something to consider. Continuing on.
Hold on, I have to tell you what, I like what Hannah says.
All right.
I think the less that I have, the more blessed my life is.
That is very true. And, again, the poor Americans right now, I'm watching them move out of their houses and into their cars. And I sit there and I'll watch these guys as they, I grew up in America. Nobody was living in their cars. No, but this isn't what we were doing. Every once in a while somebody would live in their car, right, down by the river in the bus. But now everybody's doing it. And the things they are talking about, like one lady was like, she literally moved everything out and she lives in a car. And she talks about pulling a little awning over the top of her car so she can cook in the winter and doesn't get wet. And this is where we are at. And, some of these people, the lady was talking about her life was far better after she downsized everything in her life. She didn't have anything, right? It's whatever you can get in the trunk of your car, in the back seat of your car, and that's how you live. And in this world, it seems like a lot of us are getting ready for this transition. We're waiting for our Messiah. We're waiting to get rid of this stuff and getting ready to walk away from it. And yeah, like Hannah says, the less we have to worry about, right? When you get that money in your bank account, then you're always worrying like, oh, I got to go check my bank, you have your stuff, right? You have your house full of stuff and you're scared to leave your house because of what happens when somebody steals everything you have in your house, right? All of these jewels and things that we keep in this world are going to come to pass. The only thing that will stay is the Torah, the kingdom, Messiah, and Yahuwah. That's our future, and that is our government. So, continuing on. Thank you, Hannah. That is very true.
Sister Barb says it won't rust, it won't rot, and it won't fall apart unless it's supposed to leave.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Right? This is the Torah walk, right? It doesn't rust, right? Give me a Torah command that isn't good. Eli, give me a Torah command that isn't good.
Error.
Error?
No, can't find one.
Error. Okay. Yeah, and there is no Torah command that is bad. And so every Torah command that we observe, that we walk, that we write on our heart, mind, and soul is never going to rust. And you know what? This isn't outdated stuff. Everybody thinks that all the words of Moshe are just some outdated, old school stuff, when in fact, that is not true. It is very current for all of us today, especially with the orange demon going wild. None of us have any idea when the messengers are going to come to extract us out of this. We don't know what's going on, but if you keep looking at it, it looks real wild. Continuing on. You have lived on the earth in pleasure and luxury. You have fattened your hearts as in a day of slaughter. You have condemned. You have murdered the righteous. He does not resist you. So brothers, be patient until the coming of the Adon. See, the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, waiting patiently for it until it receives the early and latter rain. Guys, let's grip Yaakov right here, right? Be patient until the coming of the Adon. We can look at this world right now, right? I worry about all of you guys in the United States. I worry about the world, right? And I know I shouldn't, but I do worry because I love you guys and I don't want harm coming to people. So what do? Well, I need to learn patience, right? I need to understand that all of this will come to pass. Everything that is happening is been planned. It has been scheduled. When a country gives up on the creator of the universe, which the United States of America did, you can't have a country without the laws of our creator. It doesn't work. Every country that ever tries, it always folds, it always fails, and the worlds will fail. Right now, it appears that the judgment time is happening for North Americans, and we need to be patient until the coming of our Adon. So don't give up, guys. Please don't take what I have as despair. I'm simply worrying for you guys. I'm praying for you guys. I don't want you guys out there to suffer, and I think our Creator is going to pull off some miracles. I think there's going to be something happening here that's going to be supernatural, and I think we're all going to be able to sit around the campfire in the kingdom to come going, wow, it was kind of like this, but wow, we got saved from here. So 8, you too, be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Adon has drawn near, and even nearer, right? Are we not near to our Messiah? These are why these crazy days and the orange demon going wild are some exciting times, right? The world's not going to be able to take too many crazy orange demons before it's out crazy. So do not grumble against each other, brothers, lest you be judged. See, the judge is standing at the door. My brothers, as an example of suffering and patience, take the Nevi'im, the prophets, who spoke in the name of Yahuwah. See, we call those Baruch who endure. You have heard of the endurance of Yov and saw the purpose of Yahuwah, that he is very sympathetic and compassionate. Stand like Yov, right? We have songs like this. Yov is another one of our heroes of stories, of scriptures, of things that we can learn a lot from. 12. But above all, my brothers, do not swear either by the Shamayim or by the earth or with any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no, no, lest you fall into judgment. This is this seems logical, right? But then we look at the world we are into right now, and you have the orange demon on average making 98 brand new lies a week. The internet is actually keeping track of the lives of the orange demon. And he has 98 brand new ones, and that doesn't include the ones he doubles down on every single week, like we won the war, we won the war, we won the war, the Army's decimated, the Air Force decimated, blah, 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 blah. Over and over and over, while Iran's over there chanting, bring it on. Let's do it, boys. So it's very interesting, right, that let your yes be yes and no be no. Those are the qualities of Yah's people, right? Honesty. We're not deceivers. We're not the 98 lies a week orange demon. 13. Is any of you suffering evil? Let him pray. Is anyone in good spirits? Let him sing Tehillim. Okay, so I mean, pray if we're struggling. This is the one thing about our scriptures is that we have a direct line to our Creator. All right, we have a direct line to our Creator. Look at the Catholics. Those poor guys, they have to pray to Mary. They got to pray to Peter and Paul and everybody else, and then they're hoping that somehow those words will get translated somewhere else. And it's a shame, because I believe all of those prayers fall on deaf ears. I don't think that Mary is doing anything for anybody. 14. Is anyone among you sick? Let him call for the elders of the assembly, and let them pray over him, having anointed him with the oil in the name of the Adon. And the prayer of the belief shall save the sick, and the Adon shall raise him up. And if he has committed sins, he shall be forgiven. Confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another, so that you are healed. The earnest prayer of a righteous one accomplishes much. Eliyahu was a man with feelings, like us, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain. And it did not rain on the land for 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the Shamayim gave rain, and the land brought forth its fruit. Brothers, if anyone among you goes astray from the truth, and someone turns him back, let him know that he who turns a sinner from the strain of his way shall save a life from death and cover a great number of sins. All right, so we're there. Jade, are you almost there?
Jade, I think, went to bed because of his head.
Oh, okay, so we're going to, I guess we're not going to bless the people. Get it. So one of you guys bless our brothers and sisters that are out there. And as you guys get this going in here, guys, this is these are beautiful books. These are beautiful chapters. These are encouragement for all of us, especially in what could very well be considered the end days. So, guys, with that, Eli, bless our brothers and sisters, please.
Jehovah barak you and guard you. He will make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. He will lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall barak them.
Okay, so here we are as these guys are getting the music queued up. They've taken off here. We are going to check out chat for just a second. Passport, let my people go. Yeah, what's funny is the orange demon put his face on the passport now. So if you get a new passport now, if this dude hasn't been impeached inside of the next 6-7 months, or the U.S. isn't able to get rid of this dude, the orange demon is literally going to be on the passports. And I would definitely encourage, passport is a pagan word of origin too. Be it a pagan word of origin, I would definitely, as North Americans, I would get your passport. I don't see any reason not to. I would definitely do everything possible to have it.
Escape.
Escape. I mean, you need this, and so whatever it is, it's cheap. You might as well get it. But that's my advice, because if you don't have that and you guys try to escape, it's going to be a far worse time.
Yeah, you might have to take the little barge across the river.
Yeah, we had some passport stuff, so here we are. All right, guys, let's get into this. Much love. Where are we at? 4?
5.
5. All right, here we are, guys.
My cup was empty until Yahuwah poured joy. I carried water but spilled it all. Through every failure, every fall, my thirst was deep, my strength was low. Yeah, you said you will grow. with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. I drink the dust of my regret and chain myself in what I meant. But Ruach Kodesh came so near and washed away the stain of fear. Fill me, Yahweh, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Then laughter came like living rain, and joy was stronger than my pain. I lifted hands and cried Baruch, for Yahoo healed what was struck. Fill me, Yahoo, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Now every cup I hold will be a sign of His love in me. For when my heart was at its worst, Yahuwah quenched my thirst. Fill me, Yahoo, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Fill me, Yahoo, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. My net was empty, but Yahweh filled the sea with mercy. Oh, I threw my rope where the waters died. No silver flash, no living tide. The dawn was cold, my hands were torn. I feared my hope would not be born. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Then Ruach stirred the silent foam and whispered peace into my home. A sparkle rose beneath the wave, like hidden gifts you came to say. Yahoo, you are my provider. Oh, Yahushua, you are my king. Oh, Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. The net grew heavy, pulled so deep. My knees fell down, I could not speak. And in you are my King. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my King. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Now when I cast into the night, I trust your hand, I trust your light. For every sea, for every breath, you feed my soul, you conquer death. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my King. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing.
All right, beautiful family, we love you guys. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine upon you. May the Torah be everything in your life. May Messiah Yahushua always be the leader of our kingdom to come. And may we all keep our Creator's beautiful commands, his beautiful ordinances. And may we all greet each other in the kingdom to come as loyal, obedient, cheerful,